The RMS Titanic was a British luxury passenger liner that captivated the world with its grandeur and opulence. Join us as Facts vs. History presents eerie footage captured moments before the sinking of the Titanic. Titanic Origins. The construction of the Titanic began in 1909 under the supervision of the White Star Line, a prominent shipping company. The ship was designed to be the epitome of luxury, boasting an array of lavish amenities and state-of-the-art features. It was built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Its construction took place over 3 years, involving thousands of skilled workers. The ship was a marvel of engineering, measuring approximately 882 feet long and 175 feet high. It had 9 decks and could accommodate around 2,400 passengers and 900 crew members. The significance of the Titanic lay in its ambition to provide an unmatched level of comfort and luxury for transatlantic travel. It was intended to be the largest, most luxurious, and safest ship of its time. Its grandeur attracted both the wealthy elite and those seeking a new life in America. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England, bound for New York City. Among its passengers were some of the wealthiest individuals of the time, including businessmen, politicians, and celebrities. The ship was also filled with immigrants seeking a better life in America. Who was on the Titanic? The first-class passengers were predominantly wealthy individuals, including businessmen, politicians, and prominent figures in society. Some notable passengers included John Jacob Astor IV, a real estate magnate, Benjamin Guggenheim, an American businessman, Isidor Straus, co-founder of Macy's department store, and Molly Brown, an American socialite. These passengers enjoyed luxurious accommodations, fine dining, and access to exclusive amenities such as a gymnasium, swimming pool, and opulent lounges. The second-class passengers were mainly middle-class people, including teachers, clergymen, and professionals. They had comfortable accommodation and access to amenities like a library and a smoking room. Second-class passengers included Lawrence Beasley, a school teacher and survivor who later wrote a first-hand account of the sinking, and Elizabeth Schutz, a British journalist. The third-class passengers, also known as steerage passengers, mostly consisted of immigrants seeking a new life in America. They had basic accommodations and shared communal spaces. Many of these passengers hailed from various points like Ireland, Scandinavia, and Eastern Europe. Among the third-class passengers were the Goodwin family, a British family traveling to the U.S., and Margaret Brown, later known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, who became an influential advocate for survivors. There were also many crew members aboard. They played a crucial role in ensuring the smooth operation of the ship. Those included ship officers, engineers, stewards, and various other staff members. The crew faced long hours and demanding work conditions. They were responsible for maintaining the ship, serving passengers, and ensuring safety. Sadly, many crew members lost their lives while attempting to save passengers. How the Titanic sank. Tragedy struck just 4 days into the voyage. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic collided with an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean. The ship's design, which featured 16 watertight compartments, was believed to be unsinkable, but the iceberg caused significant damage to multiple compartments, leading to the flooding of the ship. As the Titanic began to sink, the crew and passengers faced a desperate struggle for survival. The limited number of lifeboats was insufficient to accommodate everyone on board. This, combined with communication issues and the lack of a nearby rescue vessel, exacerbated the already dire situation. In the early hours of April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank beneath the icy waters, taking more than 1,500 lives with it. The sinking of the Titanic resulted in a significant loss of life, with approximately 710 people surviving of over 2,200 passengers and crew members on board. The survival rate varied among different passenger classes. The majority of first-class passengers had access to lifeboats and a higher chance of survival, while many third-class passengers faced challenges due to language barriers, unfamiliarity with the ship's layout, and limited access to lifeboats. The sinking of the Titanic also had a profound and lasting impact on maritime history. It led to significant changes in safety regulations and practices, aiming to prevent such a disaster from occurring again. The tragedy exposed flaws in the ship's design and safety measures, leading to stricter regulations regarding lifeboat capacity and the availability of 24-hour wireless communication on ships. The search for the wreckage. The search for the wreckage of the Titanic began shortly after its sinking when several expeditions were launched to locate the ship, but they were unsuccessful due to the lack of advanced technology. In 1985, a joint expedition led by American oceanographer Dr. Robert Ballard, French diving engineer Jean-Louis Michel, and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution set out to find the Titanic. They utilized a remote-controlled underwater vehicle equipped with cameras and sonar technology, named Argo, in conjunction with a towed camera sled called Jason Jr. The ship used historical data, survivor testimonies, and the ship's last known coordinates to narrow down the search area. On September 1, 1985, after weeks of scanning the ocean floor, the wreckage of the Titanic was finally found, at a depth of approximately 12,500 feet in the North Atlantic Ocean. The discovery captured global attention and generated significant media coverage. The expedition's findings were documented in a National Geographic television special airing in 1986, providing the world with haunting images and footage from the sunken ship. Subsequent expeditions were conducted to further explore and document the wreckage, such as remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and manned submersibles. Efforts have been made to preserve the Titanic's legacy and artifacts. Numerous expeditions have recovered items from the wreckage, leading to exhibitions and auctions of these artifacts. But controversies surrounding the ethical and legal aspects of these salvage operations have arisen due to concerns about the disturbance of the resting place of the victims and potential damage to the wreck. The legacy of the Titanic continues to captivate public interest to this day. Numerous books, documentaries, and films have been produced recounting the events of that fateful night. The sinking has become a symbol of human hubris and the consequences of overlooking safety measures. Memorials and museums dedicated to the Titanic have been established around the world, paying homage to the lives lost and ensuring that the lessons learned from the tragedy are not forgotten. How accurate is the movie? For starters, the main characters, Jack and Rose, provide a central narrative to the film but are not based on real people. The film uses their story to illustrate the class divide and human drama amidst the tragedy. The film accurately captures the grandeur and opulence of the ship, but there are some differences in details. The film depicts the grand staircase as one continuous structure, while in reality there were two separate staircases for first-class passengers. And the exterior color of the ship in the film is slightly darker. As far as the sinking, the film portrays the sinking as occurring in one continuous event, with the ship breaking apart dramatically as it sinks. In reality, the sinking took place over the course of several hours, and the ship broke apart just before it sank completely. The film's depiction of the sinking was a dramatic interpretation for storytelling purposes. The film depicts a shortage of lifeboats, resulting in many passengers not being able to find a place. While there were not enough lifeboats to accommodate everyone on board, the crew did launch as many as they could, but due to a lack of proper training and the belief that the ship was unsinkable, some lifeboats were launched only partially filled. The film includes a mix of fictional characters and real ones. While some real individuals like Molly Brown and Captain Edward Smith are depicted, the majority of the characters are fictional. And finally, the film accurately portrays the use of wireless communication to send distress signals, but the response from nearby ships and the time it took for assistance to arrive was not fully depicted. The film emphasizes the isolation of the Titanic during its final hours. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know the Titanic was thought to be unsinkable and that eerie footage was captured just before it sunk? Let us know in the comments section below.